Hello and welcome to the Emoji Book Finder app tutorial using Thunkable. We're going to start here at thunkable.com and click sign in. This is going to be an Android app, so go ahead and click Android and you'll be signed in with Google. So this is our home page here with all the different apps. If you're sharing an account, you might see other apps that other people have made. Click Create New App and call your app whatever you would like. I'm going to do Emoji Book Finder with my initials at the end. That way I know that the app belongs to me if I'm sharing this account. So I go into the main screen here of our first screen on our app. And I'm just going to show you on the side over here, we have our palette, which has all these different components and the categories. We want the user interface category to stay open here. On the right-hand side, you'll see components. That's where all the different things that we will drag over and put on our screen will live. And on the far right, you can see the properties or change the properties of those components. So for this particular app, it's called an Emoji Book Finder, and it will let the user pick an emoji that is how they're feeling or a certain mood. And then after they tap on that mood, they'll be taken to a page with a book recommendation that fits it. So we want it to look like on our app planning worksheet here, screen one, we have a title at the top and our 3 buttons that will lead to the next pages. So we're going to start with just the title. So I will go over here. That's going to be a label. So you're going to pick that up and drag it over. You saw that blue line there. Whenever you move this, wherever you put that blue line is where the label will go. On the right-hand side, you can change the properties of the label. So I'm going to go down here to where it says text, and I'm going to replace this with what I had written over here, which was pick your mood to find a book. So pick your mood, find a book. Now you can write whatever you'd like there. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. And now we can make a few changes to the text if you'd like. I'm going to make mine bold, italicized, and a little bigger. You'll notice here when I make it size 30, it's going to go beyond the sides of my screen, and that's okay. When you actually test the app on a real mobile device, you'll notice that it wraps, and so you don't have to worry about that. It will look normal. I'm also going to change the background of the whole screen to a different color. So my screen, make sure you have selected this. I can go here to background color, and I'm going to pick something that looks a little fun. Let's do a light blue. All right, so pick your mood to find a book. Now we need to have the 3 buttons here. So I'm going to drag over 3 buttons that we will put emojis on. So 1, 2, 3. And then when these buttons are pressed, they're going to open a screen for each of those that are related to that emoji. So for button 1, we want to change the background of it. You can see over here, there's a section called image. We want to upload a file here. We don't have that file yet. So I'm going to show you how to find the emoji pictures to put on your buttons. So in a new tab, you're going to click on images. We want to go to Google Images, but we're not just going to search for a regular Google image because we don't know if we have permission to use them. So we're going under settings and advanced search. And this is where we can type in our first emoji. Mine was a laughing emoji. So I'm going to type that in. And then I'm scrolling all the way to the bottom to make sure that my usage rights are set to this middle one here, free to use or share even commercially. This means that the people who created or uploaded these said that it's okay if we use those in our project, even if we end up selling our app someday. So I like this one right here, so I'm going to click on it. I like that it has a clear background. This gray and white checkerboard in the background means that it's a PNG file and that it won't have the white square behind it. It will just be this emoji. So I like this one. I'm going to right click on it and click Save Image As. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to change it to say just the word laughing so I can find it more easily. And I'm noticing that it's saving to my desktop. So I'll click Save, and then I'll go back into Thunkable, and I'll click on the button, make sure that that's the one that I have selected, and go to Image. Now I can do upload file and choose file and find the one that I just did. So I will say open and okay. So now that's going to put the image as a button. That's a little big and I can still see the label. So I'm going to do 2 things here. I'm going to change the size. So over here, height and width, I'm going to change it. Maybe I'll do 30% for height and then 30% for width. It's a square, so I should be able to do that same number. But maybe not. Maybe you can play around with these numbers until it looks normal. There we go. And let's see, I want to get rid of that text, don't I? I don't want it to say button 1. I just want it to be the picture of the emoji. All right, so that's perfect. I am going to go ahead and find my other 2 emojis the same way I did this one, although now I can just replace this word because it's already labeled for reuse. We have the one that says labeled for reuse. So we're good to go. So go ahead and find and download your other 2 and replace the background of these buttons. I'm going to pause the video, and when we come back, we'll be ready to move on. Okay, so now you should have your background color the way you like it with a title and 3 buttons that have the emoji picture as their background. Now, what we want those buttons to do is open a new screen each time that has a book recommendation written on it and an embedded website that either goes to the books, like the author's homepage, or maybe an Amazon review or something like that too. And then the back button that takes you back home. So before you can really move on, you need to make sure that you have your 3 different emojis that you want, along with a recommendation for the book that you are thinking about recommending based on that emoji. So there's this worksheet can help you. You can find it at nhkidscode.com/tutorials. And if you need help with the recommendation, here are some sentence starters as well that can really help you think about, what do you want to say about this book? Why does it make you feel the way that you feel with that emoji? All right, so when we get to the next video, you should have all of your content ready because we're going to be working on screens 2, 3, and 4, which will be this button will lead to screen 2, this will lead to screen 3, and this will lead to screen 4. So it's time to get all of your content ready, and then we'll be ready to pick up with the next video on creating those additional screens.